They don't look like monsters. They look just like us. You wake up to an emergency broadcast. The sun's erupted, the streets empty, and creatures called visitors are crawling from the ground ready to kill humans. Each night, strangers knock at your door, some of them human, the rest visitors. In this demo, you'll have 5 nights to survive. In this video, we'll walk through the demo night by night, piecing together every clue and then dig into the theories, including one that might change how you see every character in this game. Let's hop in. The night begins with a knock on the door. Who could it be at this hour? Curious and a little uneasy, I check the windows first. Through the first window, I see the neighbor's house. Dark, quiet. Across the street, a skinny dog wanders the dirt path, sniffing for scraps. Drunkards lie passed out in the nearby field, oblivious to the world around them. My eyes drift to the photo of my wife on the nightstand, a fragment of warmth in a world that's already starting to feel colder. I don't know it yet, but this will be one of the last moments of peace. Reluctantly, I approach the door. Through the peephole, my neighbor, relief, until he speaks. Something bad's coming. My cousins called me. The news over there is there's something weird going on with the sun. He tells me about visitors, strange figures crawling from underground. His cousin told him not to sleep alone. That's how people get killed now. But what does that even mean? Why would being alone make you a target? And what exactly are these visitors? No answers, only questions. He insists on staying with me tonight. I head back to bed, but sleep never comes easy. The knock was just the beginning. I wake up to the sound of static and panic. My broadcast rattles through the TV. At 6:28 a.m., a massive burst of solar energy erupted from the sun. Temperatures have reached critical levels. A state of emergency is declared. No one is to leave their home during the day. What could be powerful enough to force the world indoors? I rush to the radio for more answers. As I scrambled to find a channel, the words slowly became clearer.
Hello, this is Emergency Services Dispatcher. How can I help you? People, they're burning. Can you describe what you're seeing? Is there a fire? No, it's the sun. They're burning up in the sun. Do not leave the house until dark. No, that guy walks around at night. The pale, scrawny one? He's not human.
A pale man? Is this the visitor my neighbor spoke of? Or is this someone else? I go to my neighbor for answers. Don't go outside during the day. You have to let other people in. But why? His cousin's warning echoes again. When anyone asks if you're alone, say no and tell them someone's staying in the house with you. I press him further. What's the use of letting people in? They might bring something or tell you some interesting things. And don't forget to test them for signs they're a visitor. You won't have much energy during the day with this heat. Then comes the hard truth. I'm afraid all we could do is try to survive. He pauses. I think the government will help us somehow. Maybe they'll lead everyone to shelter. If they do, stay with my family. He leaves a case of beer on the counter, a parting gift. He stays behind, quietly sitting at the kitchen table. I take a drink, then head back to bed. As night falls, I check the windows. Across the street, the neighbor's house glows with warm light. People are home. Life goes on. Outside in the field, the teens are still hanging out, laughing, ignoring the headlines. Maybe this whole thing really is just paranoia. But then I check the last window. The road is empty, silent. Everyone else has vanished indoors. Then the knock. At the door is the neighbor's daughter, here to take her father home. Or is it? I test her by asking questions. What's your dad's name? She smiles at your strategy. You're smart. I'll start testing people now too. She says the world has turned upside down. People now sit at home and sleep during the day. At night, they go out and do things. She leaves with her dad, excited to play roll the dice and build a road with the armchair and couch. I feel a strange mix of relief and regret. He came to protect me, and now he's leaving. I'm alone once more. A second knock. A man stands in the doorway, tall, lanky, with a white collared shirt and black jeans. He says he got kicked out of a bar. His temperament couldn't be handled. He claims he won't hurt anyone though. It was just a bad day. I know the type. Loud, a little reckless. I've been that guy before. I decide to let him in. And then, almost immediately, another knock. A young woman with short hair. Her posture is twisted, one shoulder higher than the other, her arms stiff, like she's forgotten how to move naturally. She used to work as a cashier, says she's struggling now. Her story feels real, her pain, believable. But something in my gut twists. But in the end, I give her the benefit of the doubt. I let her in. The first night ends as I walk to bed. I have let in 2 guests. Is that 2 guests too many? At least I won't be alone, so I'm safe from whatever danger the neighbor was talking about. Morning comes, and with it, more bad news. The TV crackles to life. The sun's activity is not decreasing, and the crime level has increased slightly. The number of murders has surpassed average figures. This must be due to the visitors and the paranoia they leave in their wake. Then an urgent message from the authorities. Visitors are described as creatures that can imitate the appearance and behavior of humans. But now, there's a sure way to spot them. Perfectly white teeth. At first, it sounds simple, but then I think, what about people who naturally have flawless teeth? Or those with veneers? How white is too white? How many will die because they smiled at the wrong stranger? The forecast offers no comfort. Hotter days, stronger UV rays, even sunscreen won't save you. The heat feels alive now, waiting for you to step outside. The tall man explains why he was kicked out of the bar, not for violence but for defiance. Everyone's spiraling over the heat. The visitors, the economy. He climbed onto a table and shouted for people to stop blaming the world and hold on to their humanity. I check his teeth. White, but not blinding. He's clear. Still, the way he insists he's not a visitor is sharp, defensive. Then I check on the cashier girl. She's curled in the corner, skin a sickly yellow, hands trembling. How did you lose your house? She tells you about the day she was fired. I got fired and I just want to go home, get in bed and cry. I got there and saw a bunch of boots in the hallway. I thought maybe my roommate had some friends or relatives over. It made me a little uneasy. I decided to quietly look and see what was going on in there. I only had time to get a glimpse of my roommate lying motionless on the bed when suddenly, some scraggly guy grabbed me from behind and said, "You can't go in there. She's not well. You better go sit in the kitchen." Then he pulled on my arm and sat down at the kitchen table. I wanted to leave, but the fear was so paralyzing and then... It's a messy story. I changed the subject to her teeth. She says she had them fixed recently, though she can't remember being at the dentist. Perfect white, not a blemish. My hand twitches toward the gun, but I stop. This isn't enough. But as I walk away, I realize I'm not just keeping her alive. I'm keeping her in my house, with the other survivor. Night falls, and with it, the knocks begin. I check the windows first. Across the field, the neighbor and his daughter are playing. For a moment, it feels almost normal. like maybe the danger is still far away. The next window takes that hope away. The teens from yesterday lie sprawled into the dirt, blood pooling into the grass. Whoever killed them didn't hesitate. Visitors? The last window makes my blood run cold. A shirtless man stands on the path, skin ghost pale, stretched awkwardly over his frame. His grin is wide enough to split his face, and he's staring right at me. Is this the scrawny man the radio warned about? I pray he doesn't knock. The first knock, two women, maybe sisters. One shivers, pale and sickly. The other explains they're both depressed. Her sister even more so. Still, she pushes forward, trying to keep them moving, keep them alive. They need somewhere safe to rest. I let them in. Next, a man in a black shirt, skin red and peeling. Third-degree burns cover his face and arms. He's a firefighter. He says the sun caught him while putting out forest fires. Fires that devoured the woods like matchsticks. The smoke was the only thing that kept him from being burned alive. With public transport gone, he's walking from house to house, relying on strangers to survive. I let him in. Before coming in, he pulls a folded piece of paper from his pocket. They wanted us to go to the FEMA quarantine zones. But who will go there if everyone who does just dies? I don't know what FEMA is, but the way he spits the name out makes me not want to find out. The last knock. A man in a wheelchair, both legs amputated. He greets you like an old friend, but I've never seen him before. Maybe he got the wrong address? At the end, he asks to come in. But if he truly knew someone here, wouldn't they just be close by? Maybe the next house? He could just knock at the next house. His insistence makes my skin crawl. I turn him away even when he offers a bribe. By the end of the night, the house feels full. The sisters, the firefighter, the tall man, and the cashier girl. They all seem human, except the cashier girl. Maybe I didn't let death in tonight. Maybe she's been here all along. Morning comes, and with it, the familiar crackle of the TV. The government has organized a special service to address the emerging situation. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. FEMA employees wear yellow hazmat suits and gas masks. They've already discovered a new sign: dirt under fingernails. This helps identify visitors who have crawled out from underground. But the questions won't stop piling up. What if they clean their nails? What if a gardener, a mechanic, or a child playing outside has the same dirt? How many mistakes will be made in the name of safety? After an ad break, a report on the pale maniac. Police have learned that his victims all had one thing in common: they were all alone. Additionally, the maniac talks to the victim before committing the murder. The suspect is described as a very pale, middle-aged man with black hair, slender build, wearing only pants. And my stomach sinks. Details match too closely to the figure I saw on the road last night. Several people have reported that he wears the skin of a different person. The final warning is blunt and chilling. Do not open the door. Tell him you're not alone. The same advice my neighbor gave me. My guests, the tall man, the firefighter, and the sisters have gathered in the living room. I check in on the firefighter first. His burns look worse. He says he won't be able to hold out for another week, but thanks me. I talk to the tall man. Depressed, he no longer cares about himself or the world, but hearing the TV and conversation in the house gives him motivation to keep going. The sisters are next. The first says she's still trying to gather her strength. She bathed her depressed sister, something she couldn't do at home. Baby steps. Her sister says she feels like there's a heavy blanket pressing down on her whole body. If she was a visitor, wouldn't she have killed her sister by now? Now let's do the tests. I test the fireman's teeth, yellowed from smoke. Not perfect. Human. I check the first sister's teeth, slightly yellow, Clear. I check the other sister's teeth. A little wider, but still imperfect. I think she's human. I don't test the tall man's hands. I'm confident at this point that he's human, but I'm not confident about the cashier girl. I head to the closet and talk to her, urging her to continue her story. After that man sat me at the kitchen table, someone stepped into the doorway and blocked the exit. In the background, I heard voices and laughter coming from my room. She says she ran for the door, didn't stop until her legs gave out, and woke up under the burning daylight. Her eyes flicker as she admits something else. She might be a visitor. But she says that can't be true. She remembers her childhood, her mother and father. She can't be. I check her hands. Dirt. Another visitor's sign. She doesn't even remember digging them into the ground. With perfect teeth and dirt under her fingernails, I should have taken out the gun and shot her. But I give her the benefit of the doubt again. Perhaps I can learn more about her story and more about visitors, if she is one. Night falls. I check the windows. At the first, FEMA employees stand outside my neighbor's house. Are they there to help or to take someone away? At the second, 2 FEMA agents kneel over the bodies of the teenagers. They're taking samples. For the first time in days, I feel a small flicker of relief. Maybe someone is in control. At the third, a group of armed soldiers patrol the streets, guarding the FEMA workers. Another glimmer of hope. The knock comes, and in that instant, the pale man from the sketch is standing at my door.
Hi, is your door nice and sturdy? You never know.
He tilts his head, smirking. Then,
You home alone?
I answer quickly, no. It's your lucky day. Who knows what'll happen in the next few days? And just like that, he's gone. For now. Did I survive a potential attack? The next knock is a woman with her young child. She says she had 5 children once. Now only 1 remains. Her husband, gone. Maybe dead, maybe worse. She tells her kids sometimes run to her mother's house when they get bored. It's hard to know if she's lying or if she just needs the story to be true. Either way, I can't turn them away. Another knock. A bold man in a jacket and backpack. He says he remembers things differently last time. He asks me to choose the beginning, middle, or end of the book for his fortune. I choose the beginning.
The dead shall rise and speak, but none will heed their words. Gosh, that's relevant, but I guess it's no surprise now.
What does that even mean? He refuses to elaborate. Before leaving, he warns me, a person with a cat will come. Let them in, he says. It will help. The next knock is a short man in an Amogus shirt. He's already talking fast, saying things have been crazy lately. He's got a way for me to make easy money, turn my house into a party spot. I feel suspicious. I refuse. He tells me to go fuck myself and leaves. I go back to bed. My home has grown again, with the fireman, 2 sisters, tall man, cashier girl, and a mother and son. Fuller, warmer, and perhaps more dangerous. By now, the morning news feels less like a broadcast and more like a countdown. Today, FEMA announces another discovery. A new sign. Blood red eyes. They flash 3 mugshots across the screen. The anchor explains that the visitor's heightened sensitivity to light leaves their eyes raw, burning, and unmistakable. What about a human with an eye infection? What about someone who's tired? I feel like with this crisis going on, people are just gonna have red eyes. Talk about wrong timing. The next segment shows FEMA's field teams. A row of agents in yellow hazmat suits, posing with a thumbs up for the camera. The reporter proudly declares they've identified 27,000 dangerous creatures so far. 27,000 in just days. If that's true, how many are unreported? How many are there in the world? I check on the newest guest, the mother. Her son is nowhere to be seen. She claims he just ran off somewhere. I decide to test her. Her teeth, clean, white, perfect. A flicker of alarm runs through me. She insists she never takes care of them, which makes the perfection even harder to believe. I push further. Her hands spotted red in places, but nails clean. Then her eyes. Blue, white, no redness. She might be fine. Reluctantly, I approach the cashier girl. The closet smells stale, like the air hasn't moved in days. You ask if she's okay. She snaps. Don't come any closer. Sorry, I thought you were gonna kill me. What if you're a visitor? I don't want to die in agony, please. You try to calm her. Relax, I'm not a visitor. How do I know that? I haven't checked your eyes or your teeth. There's a long silence. Then she mutters. There's no hope left. Death is coming. Her gaze never leaves yours. You check her eyes, blood red. Another sign. My hand tightens around the gun. This time, I almost do it. But something, maybe stubbornness, maybe denial, keeps me from pulling the trigger. I tell myself I'm waiting for proof. But deep down, I think I'm just afraid of what that proof will look like. The night comes again. I check the windows. The neighbor's house is burning. Flames tear through the roof. Smoke curling into the sky. What happened to the FEMA agents who stood watch there yesterday? The second window. The pale man is back. Only now, he's holding something in his left hand. It's the severed head of one of the soldiers from last night. The third window confirms my fear. The rest of the soldiers are dead. A massacre. And if the pale man killed them all, then nothing, not even armed men, can stop him. A knock. A man in a yellow suit. A FEMA agent. He offers credentials. Insists visitors never move in groups. But I see no backup. No second yellow suit. No other voice, just him. He asks for the mother and her child. Says they'll be taken to a quarantine zone for verification. The mother looks at me. Her son clings to her side. I let them go. Her frown lingers until she disappears into the dark. Another knock. A sweaty, middle-aged man with long hair and a beard. He rambles about the sun, punishing humanity for its sins, saying this is a cleansing, a blessing. I want him gone, but he offers a gift.
For letting me in, you shall receive a generous reward from the Holy Son himself. Reconsider, my good man.
I feel like he'll cause trouble with my other guests. I refuse again. The final knock cuts deeper. It's the neighbor's daughter. She's sobbing, shaking. Visitors came into their house, talked to her father, then killed him. I let her in, no hesitation. And as the house falls quiet, I can't shake the feeling that a visitor is in my closet. The cashier girl. I've ignored the signs, the teeth, the dirt, the eyes. But there's only so many chances you can give someone before they stop being a guest and start being a threat. Tomorrow, I have to decide which one she is. Every day brings a new discovery. Today, FEMA takes the spotlight. I can't help but wonder, will they bring the mother and her son back? Then comes the latest sign, hairless armpits. It's absurd, more invasive than anything before. And yet in this world, absurdity has a way of becoming law. The next segment tells viewers to report suspected visitors to the nearest quarantine zone. FEMA will take them for testing. However, my phone doesn't work. Maybe this is what the firefighter was warning me about. Then, another commercial. Bright colors. A jingle for a drink called Energeca, complete with a phone number on screen. Well, I wish my phone worked. Then the little girl. She wishes for her mom and dad. I asked her what happened to her dad. She said they came in and started talking and dad said it was wrong, and then she stopped her story. I couldn't even imagine. And then the cashier girl. She's already shouting before I can speak. Visitors, they're coming for us. Don't you hear it? Death is calling us. Visitor, human, what's the difference? We're all the same before death. So why torture ourselves in anticipation? Let them come. They want what's best for us. Let the visitors come. Have you gone crazy, I ask? I'm not crazy, I've seen the light. I'm a visitor. We and humans are one. We're so similar. Accept death along with us. It's coming soon. The room feels smaller now. My hand hovers over the gun. You're leaving me no choice, I say. Shoot then, what are you waiting for? Will you kill without the slightest remorse? I don't care, do what you must, human. For a moment I hesitate, not because I doubt what she is, but under all that madness, I can almost see the person she used to be. I pull the trigger. Her body collapses and strange ghostly shapes pour out, faces twisting and screaming before vanishing into the air. I leave the closet and enter the kitchen. I reach for a beer, trying to wash away the taste of what I've done. It doesn't help. Maybe before all of this, she really just was a kind, friendly person. Night begins with another knock. By now, it's almost routine. I check the windows. Neighbor's house is gone. Nothing but ashes. The soldier's skull is mounted on a stake. The pale man is nowhere to be seen. FEMA officials comb the massacre site, collecting weapons so looters can't. Body bags lie in rows, zipped and silent. The first knock is an old woman, small and hunched, clutching a dream catcher that sways in the night air. She calls me an assertive person, then a Leo, wrongfully. But I don't believe in that sort of stuff anyway. She says I've accumulated a large amount of unpleasant dark energy here. How did she know? I'm listening. But then she says stuff about Capricorn rising, stuff I'm not interested about. But I'm not one for fortunes. I tell her no. She narrows her eyes and leans forward. Then you'll have diarrhea. And just like that, she turns and walks into the darkness. The last knock, an old woman. She offers stories to tell in exchange for shelter. I agree, until she notices the depressed sister. Her face twists. She doesn't like her. I send the old woman away. We don't need more conflict in a house already fraying at the seams. She leaves with a parting warning. Sometimes the truth is quiet, but deadly. Is that a threat or something worse? The night ends quietly, but it doesn't feel like relief. Outside, the world is still unraveling. FEMA rounding up suspects, visitors blending in, the pale man still out there somewhere. Inside, the space where the cashier girl once sat is empty. She's gone because I decided she was dangerous. Her voice still echoes in my head. We and humans are one. We're so similar, and I can't decide if she was lying or telling the truth. With that, the demo ends, and instead of closure, it leaves us staring into the unknown. Now we step back and start pulling the pieces apart. One mystery, the cornerstone of this game. What is a visitor? And why they are far more dangerous than they first appear. Our main enemy, the visitors, are described to us in hints, little by little. The first hint, on night 0, I'll call it that, the neighbor tells us what he heard. Something bad's coming. My cousin called me. The news over there is saying something's weird going on with the sun, and that there are people coming from underground. They're calling them visitors for some reason. On day 1, the official broadcast declares a state of emergency, but says nothing about visitors. The neighbor, our reliable source of information, tells us more in the kitchen. Let people in your home, and don't forget to test them for signs they're a visitor. That's all we get. No origin story, no monster reveal, just enough to know we have to be suspicious of everyone. The broadcast gives us 4 official signs. Perfect white teeth, dirt under fingernails, blood red eyes, hairless armpits. In the older demo, there's another sign. A visitor's face would appear blurry in photographs. This might come back into full release. Other possible signs include the bug in the ear from the teaser, which fits with the idea that visitors crawl up from underground. The new cat may potentially be a visitor detector. Egg Boy tells us to let in the person with a cat. He's certain that doing so will help us, but we aren't sure how yet. It's important to know you don't need all of the signs to be a visitor. For example, the angry guy has perfect teeth, dirt under nails, and hairless armpits, but no blood red eyes. One character who does match every sign is the cashier girl, and she becomes our best case study for what a visitor really is. From talking with her, we discover that she and her roommate were attacked by strange men. She says that these are visitors. Visitors came to my house. Huh, imagine. They chased me out of my own home. Before the attack, she was just a woman who lost her job and wanted to go home. Afterward, she started to change. I suspect she turned into a visitor. If this is true, then we can deduce that there's an infection that's passed from visitor to human, like a zombie apocalypse. Except, you can't see the difference from a first glance. The key here is that the first visitors came from underground, attacked people, then turned them into visitors. But we can counter this infection theory with a theory that 1, she could just be lying, or 2, being a visitor gives her fake memories. If you check her teeth, she says, "I just had my teeth fixed, though I can't really remember being at the dentist. Was I even there?" And if you check her hands, what's on them? No way it's dirt. I don't even remember digging around in the ground. I'm gonna go with the infection theory. Could be zombies, parasite, or a symbiotic connection like Venom in the Marvel Universe. When you shoot a visitor, a ghost comes out of their corpse. Maybe these ghosts will look for the nearest target and infect them that way. Then, as the days go by, that person becomes to be more visitor-like. The radio provides us with more world building. On day 3, upon unscrambling the signal, the radio talks about evil spirits turning you into a visitor, which goes well with our infection theory. Have your eyes become red? Your teeth white? Has dirt appeared under your nails? An evil spirit has entered you. You're a visitor. Don't let this blight take over your body. Call our experts immediately. They'll cast out the evil spirit, cleanse your body of the pernicious aura, and provide you with enhanced protection. Now, of course, they could just be a money-making idea, and there's no proof that this works, but we'll see in the full game. Remember the phone that can't be used in this demo? It will be usable in the full game, so I think we'd be able to call these experts and see if there's any truth to them. Finally, day 4. The radio tells listeners to send in photos to check if they're a visitor or a human. And now for our new program, Yes, I'm a Human. It's simple. You send in your photos and we'll check what you really are. Send your photos to us by mail and find out what you are. Now this could just be for content and nothing else. Because what visitor would listen to the radio? Only humans would listen to the radio, right? But what if you were a human, got infected, then turned into a visitor? Let's go into what the infection does to you. As this infection grows within the cashier girl, her dialogue becomes more and more unhinged. In the first few days, when you ask her why the sun didn't burn her, she's in disbelief. Remember, the sun burns humans to ashes. But she's not crazy yet. It's odd, I thought I remembered everything that happened to me. Hang on, you don't think I might be a visitor? But in the last days, she outright admits she's a visitor, yelling at us that they're coming for us. Visitors, they're coming for us. I am a visitor. She believes that visitors and humans are the same before death. We and humans are one. We're so similar. We're like mirror images. So as the infection gets worse, then the behavior gets worse until potentially she kills. When the visitors kill, I'm guessing they pass on the infection. But hang on. The cashier girl didn't die, did she? When she was escaping the attack, she mentioned collapsing onto the ground. I sprinted for the exit. It was like the fear gave me strength, and I ran, never looking back, until I ran out of steam and collapsed onto the ground. This is when she died. Then, as the infection grew, she woke up again, as a visitor. Now this opens up a whole new world of possibilities. What if, when the neighbor dies to those visitors, what if he returns as a visitor? Do you know what would be absolutely mind-blowing? When the daughter runs to us, asks us to stay in her house, then a few days later, her dad knocks on the door. No longer human, 100% visitor. He would beg to be let in, to be with her daughter. But the thing is, he's now no longer human. But hold up. When a visitor kills a human, you get a message saying, "Smells like someone died in here." And when you look for the body, it would be in trash bags. Therefore, the infection isn't going to be passed on to a bunch of trash bags, right? Well, I think this will change in the full release. Why would a visitor wrap up a human body in neatly laid trash bags in the first place? When you looked outside the window on night 4, the soldiers were massacred. No trash bags there. Maybe in the full release, the human guest turns into a visitor, which changes their teeth, hands, eyes, armpits. And if there's no longer any humans left, then they win, they kill you, game over. When you kill a visitor, strange face-like spirits escape their body, and they don't just vanish into the air. Their corpse stays in the room. The Day 3 radio warns, an evil spirit has entered you. You're a visitor. Don't let this blight take over your body. Call our experts immediately. If those spirits are the infection, then killing a visitor might not have ended the threat. It might have been passed on to you. In that case, every shot you take comes with a risk. You might save the house, but lose yourself in the process. And if the infection works slowly like it did with the cashier girl, you might not even notice it until your thoughts, your memories start to change. To wrap up, the visitors crawl up from the underground, slip into our homes, and pass their condition to us, turning humans into something other. And if killing one passes that curse on to you, then every pull of the trigger could be the start of your own transformation. When the cashier girl said, "We and humans are one, we're so similar," she might not have been lying. Maybe that's the point of "No, I'm not a human." You, the player, aren't a human. You're becoming one of them. With the full game coming out in the next few months, this story is only just getting started. We'll get more days, more characters, and deeper stories to pull us in. We'll also find out more about the visitors themselves, exactly where they came from, what they want, and if there's any real way to stop them. If you want to see all the teased characters that are coming in the full game, check out this video here. I've had a lot of fun making this video and I hope you enjoyed it. When the full game drops, I'll be back with another one of these videos. Share your thoughts down below.